Ms. Terry Lee with the Overflow Foundation. Dean and I would like to thank you for joining us on this episode of Dapper Dialogues. This is our giving episode where we're highlighting some charities in the Aiken County area, really to show what a great place Aiken is to live, and how giving it is.
And how much people rally in the community to do stuff for people.
Right.
In the community.
So thank you, Ms. Executive Director.
Yes.
Tell us about the Overflow Foundation. What was the inspiration of starting this organization?
Sure. Well, first, let me say, Danny and Dina, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I'm honored to be here at the Green Boundary. So Overflow Foundation was started, it's from great pain to great purpose now. Oftentimes, our greatest pain will lead us into our greatest ministry, and that's exactly what I found in my life. We lost our oldest son, Phillip Lee Jr., in 2018 to suicide after a new diagnosis of bipolar disorder. He had not been well for about a year. It caught our entire family off guard. We are a very close family, 5 children in all, and we just found ourselves reeling and trying to figure out what in the world, how did this happen?
How did we get here?
Yes, how did we get here? How does a family like ours end up with suicide as part of our story? Right. And so I've been a nurse for 40 years and never saw myself working in the area of mental health. But after I was able to stand up and continue a little bit in my grief, I knew that I was going to have to be purposeful, to be able to walk and to begin to adjust to the change in our life and the change of our family. Yes, it's forever changed our family. And so I began to study a lot about mental health and mental illness and bipolar disorder, everything that we had experienced. And really what broke my heart, in addition to the loss of our son, obviously, was the fact that 1 in 4 individuals will have a diagnosable mental health challenge in any given year. That's 1 in 4. So we have 4 people in our room today. And so that 1 in 4 is a very true statistic.
It's probably Dean.
Yeah, my money's on me.
Yeah, we're pointing at each other. Well, it can be really any of us. You count 1 in 4 in your church, 1 in 4 walking around in Walmart, 1 in 4 at a ball game. That statistic holds true. And so that was really sobering for me to learn that statistic. And then as I received a governor's appointment to be on the executive board at Aiken-Barnwell Mental Health, I began to learn even more statistics. I've enjoyed working with them and getting to know our community, the makeup of our community. And we have in Aiken County over 750 individuals who are living with persistent mental health challenges. And these are individuals that are only being seen at Aiken-Barnwell Mental Health. That doesn't even count the individuals who are being seen by private physicians.
Really?
And so those numbers continued to break my heart, and I knew that I had to move in this area to be able to bring greater awareness to our area, to be able to bring education in the form of teaching the mental health first aid class, which is just a simple 1-day class. We've trained over 2,000 people in our community. We've focused mostly on Aiken County Public School District in the last 2 years, training teachers, coaches, guidance counselors, bus drivers, administrators, everybody that's working with our children and with teenagers so that they can understand how to respond.
Right.
So that's where Overflow got started, from pain to great purpose. But now, in 2023, we decided it was time for us to broaden our scope. We continued to hear statistics. In 2024, the suicide count is actually higher year to date than it was in 2023. Really? And so I know that this is maybe not the information that Aiken is wanting to hear about our community, but it's information that we need to hear.
That's
because
right, sure.
These numbers represent individuals and families in our community who are struggling.
That's right.
And who are in pain. And so these illnesses implode the entire family. So it is affecting our community. We're seeing the homelessness rate increase. That's probably been obvious. If you have your eyes open and you're walking around downtown.
It's outside everywhere.
right.
Yes, it really is. And so we tripled the size of our board to cover areas of law enforcement, education, healthcare, the retirement community, business and finance, real estate.
Yeah.
to clearly understand what all of the components affecting Aiken County are.
Right. You bring those facets
Yes,
to the
we
table.
bring all of those facets, and helping us to understand what we need to do and how we need to move as a nonprofit organization to assist individuals. And so we decided that in 2024, we actually wanted to increase care and support services rather than just doing education and awareness. We need to bring more care and support services. The area that we saw as a gap in service is that area where individuals may go to a psychiatric appointment or they may go to their therapy appointment, and that may be 1 or 2 points in time during the month, right? But then who is supporting or caring those individuals in the meantime?
Right.
Until the next time it's time for them to go to an appointment. And so that's where Overflow Foundation decided to bring the Clubhouse International model of mental health support to Aiken County.
That's outstanding.
Filling in the gap.
Yes.
To bring in a Bible reference.
Filling in those
the
gaps in
That's
care.
good.
We're not duplicating services. We're not bringing something that's already here. We are collaborating and cooperating with the mental health services that are already here, and we are extending those services, joining hands and trying to extend the services and care for the community of Aiken.
So tell us, obviously when you have a tragedy of losing a child, the support is involved with that. We talked before we sat down about our faith. Tell us about your faith and how God worked in your family's life. And then also, obviously you guys are members of Cedar Creek, the senior pastor there, how they surrounded you. And I know several members are on the board of Overflow.
Right.
How that kind of worked out.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, the greatest gift for our family as being part of Cedar Creek Church was that they have always allowed us to be who we are. We come with our own issues and
warts and all.
Warts and all that we deal with and struggle with as well. And so when we lost our son, we were allowed to be very transparent. I mean, wasn't able to go back to church for a couple of months. I just was not ready. And so we are just still so appreciative to them for allowing our family just to be our family. And to continue to lead, though, from this posture of pain. And I believe that that's really ministered to our family, and I hope to our community. We've not tried to hide what our family went through. We've not tried to soften it. We've not tried to put ourselves on a pedestal in any way either, other than to spotlight the issues of mental health challenges and to be able to move forward in assisting in our community. And so we're thankful to our church fellowship for that. Phillip was able to continue to lead in a very transparent way, as were our children. We have 2 children on staff. And so while we work closely with Cedar Creek, we still are an independent nonprofit here. We're associated with several churches who assist us in giving support. But our faith was paramount in assisting us and being able to stand up and continue to walk in our pain. I remember, just as a mother, after the loss of Phillip, for the first, maybe year. I mean, it was for quite a while. Even before my eyes opened in the morning, I was aware already of a visceral, palpable pain that I could feel. I mean, it was a heart pain. It was a guttural pain that I experienced with this loss. And I can tell you, were it not for the power and strength of God in my life and the relationship that I have because of that, I don't think as a mother I would have been able to continue. The grief was just suffocating. And so I'm so thankful for that relationship that I have. And I point to that all the time as the source of my strength. And that's what gives me the ability to continue to get up every morning and to move in this work.
I don't know how people that don't have a relationship with Christ, how they handle tragic events like that, catastrophic events. I don't know where they turn to, and
how
where
do they function. Beyond that, without that faith.
I couldn't imagine, if I didn't have that relationship, how to handle those things. I mean, obviously we have our family and stuff, but
But events like that can also just rip you apart, you know, because you're in so much pain daily, and each person is going through that in their own way. Without Christ, you just, like you say, I don't know how you could do it.
Well, and my husband Phillip has been so just down to earth in describing that even though he's a pastor and has been a pastor for almost 30 years, this really simplified his faith, because there's so many things when you lose someone to suicide, and especially a child, it's not supposed to happen.
That's right.
We're not supposed to lose our children. And so it has really simplified our faith in that we are not God. There are things that we are never going to understand, but we continue to walk in understanding that He has, I call it it's like if we had puzzle pieces here on the table. He has the box top, He can see the whole picture, and we can only see the pieces. And so we have to trust that He has the whole picture and keep stepping. You know, we had a tragedy with our son Rick, where he was in a car accident in 2012, 8 years before we lost Phillip. And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury and was not expected to live. Was in a coma for about a week and a half. Rick made a miraculous recovery. He's married now with 2 precious children. And so we went from a scenario, Danny and Dean, to the miraculous healing of one son, to the fervent prayers of a family, and another son 8 years later not receiving that miraculous recovery. But is that the way we need to look at it? You know, we began to look at it as, you know, Phillip is healed and whole now. He's not suffering anymore. And so that really simplified our faith as well. And I'm confident to say now that even though we've seen the answer to prayer in one scenario, and maybe not the answer to prayer the way we would have had it, but we understand that God is higher than we are and has ways much higher than we are. We trust that He holds that box top, and we're just going to keep moving and trust in that. So whether our prayers are answered the way we want them to or not, we have to keep trusting and keep moving and just have faith.
That's fair.
And you guys are able to comfort people that are reaching out to you, the Overflow Foundation, and that recognize that in their loved ones, family members, community folks, stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about the way the Overflow Foundation, how do they raise funds? How do they make it possible to help all these people in our community?
Well, when we started in 2019, this mama came up with the hashtag Phil, little thing that stands for, yes, it's in memory of Phillip, but it stands now for pouring hope into life.
Oh, wow.
And so we had T-shirts printed in mass quantity, and I started selling T-shirts out of the back of my car. I became certified in being able to teach mental health first aid for adults and mental health first aid for adults who are assisting children and youth. And that's what allowed us to buy our first set of books and our curriculum to continue rolling. And so we are still selling hashtag Phil T-shirts all over the place. And of course we have different designs and stuff now, but that's how we got started. Donations started coming in. I started applying for grants and have been very thankful to receive grants from the Gifting Tree 2 years in a row. So thankful for that. As well as corporate donations. And now we're writing for larger grant from SAMHSA and larger grants like that as well. I do a lot of public speaking. I've also, I'll crack this box, I'm also finishing up on a book that I have written, and the name of the book, well, no, I won't tell the name of the book yet, but
okay.
We thought we were going to get the exclusive.
I know, exclusive.
the exclusive. Well, you're the first that know that I've always
We got to get
said-
signed copies.
Yes.
We want signed copies.
Please, absolutely.
But it's just a story of hope. It goes through my whole life and just horrific situations that have happened, with the whole goal being trying to lead people to continue regardless of the pain, regardless of the bad stuff that happens, because we're all going to go through it. We're all going to go through something, just to continue to take one step at a time. And so it is a story of hope, but I'm hoping that it is a story also where the proceeds from the sale of the book will go towards our next project, which is Clubhouse Community of Hope.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
So we're trying to get multiple funding streams. I've also been to the State House talking to Tom Young,
Yeah.
Bill Taylor.
love
We're
Tom.
trying to
Yeah,
get.
Tom's awesome.
Yes, they are fantastic, and he's been so kind to talk to us. So we are hoping and praying for General Assembly dollars. We're hoping for City of Aiken, County of Aiken, City of North Augusta funding, because this affects
need.
our
Right.
entire
And the
community.
need is there.
Yes, and businesses. We love to see businesses support this work as it affects our entire community. It's going to take all of us joining hands together to be able to care for individuals and families.
So speaking of which, if somebody if they see this and they say, look, this is great organization, I want to contribute something, how do they contribute to the Overflow Foundation?
On our website, there's a simple donation button that you can go to and contribute any amount. We also have a P.O. box that's listed on the website. Some people aren't as comfortable with computers or just feel better about writing that hard check. That P.O. box is P.O. Box 383 Aiken, and it's 29802.
Okay.
And so
We'll share the link on our social media as well. But having that PO box out there and everything, that's a great way to get some more donations.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. And then we have an event this coming weekend. We do community events that try to spotlight our mental health resources, because a lot of people don't know if they're struggling where to go for help. Right. And so this is one of the ways that we spotlight some of these resources. And it's called Music and Mocktails. It's a safe, just a family-friendly atmosphere for folks to come. Lots of food trucks, live music in honor of our son. Yes.
I'm bringing my wife.
That's phenomenal. Great live music, food trucks. We'll spotlight those resources and just have a place for a fun, safe community atmosphere.
Is that on the same weekend every year, or
it's
roughly?
Always in September. That's the month that we lost Phillip. But September is also known as National Suicide Prevention Month. But having said that, I will tell you, our goal is not to spotlight suicide or even suicide prevention. Our goal is to spotlight life and hope.
That's great.
And so we believe that providing safe venues that are family friendly in our community is one of the roles that we have. If we want our community to be more healthy and vital, then let's work together to provide these atmospheres where families can be safe and enjoy fellowship together.
Absolutely. And that the Music and Mocktails event will be held where?
It's at Generations Park. Yep, 5 to 8. This coming Saturday night. The weather's supposed to clear and be beautiful, so we're going to hope.
It will be.
And this is an annual event. It's a free event for our community, but it is a fundraising event. We do raise money through corporate sponsors, business sponsors in our area, and that's one of the ways that supplies, again, some of the funding for our organization to move forward.
Outstanding.
Great.
Outstanding. Well, in the spirit of giving, and this being our giving episode, Danny and I have.
We're going to spotlight.
We're going to spotlight you.
Just to give you a small donation.
Just to say thank you for what you're doing in our community. Thank you for putting all of this organization together. I think it's tremendous. Yeah. It's a desperate need, especially hearing the statistics itself. That's daunting. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
You, your husband, your family, this organization are an inspiration to all of us. Truly. And it's touched our lives, maybe not directly, but we have friends who are friends with Phillip that I know are on your board now. And so we appreciate your transparency, your vulnerability to express.
That's difficult to be that transparent in such a harsh time, and the fact that y'all were able to do that helps everybody.
And preachers live in glass houses anyway. Truly, So it's nice that you guys have embraced it and been able to share as your testimony. So thank you for coming and speaking with us and presenting the community with what you guys do at Overflow Foundation.
I appreciate that, and you are both part of Gifting Tree as well.
Yes, we are.
So we're so appreciative for having received a grant.
We're happy
from them.
happy to do it.
We're
happy to do it.
So thank you for all y'all do in the community, and thank you for this.
We'll see you at the event.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
All right.